Okay, my good friends, it's Roger, and we are now going to be talking about transition metals and how mud fossils become the things that you see them as they become mineralized. And mineralized means that the molecules inside become stable. They bond with something that comes along and says, hey, I have a couple extra electrons, you need some electrons, and they do a little deal, and they combine. They coordinate, all right? And there was some work done on this over 100 years ago that was the best work that I've seen so far. And since then, I haven't seen any work that comes even close, but maybe I missed it all. However, we are now in a situation where transition metals, I don't think are understood, and they are the literal life inside every creature. Without them, you are dead or sick. They are the things that handshake with other molecules that you ingest to support your life. Those metals are transition metals. They can, in the correct pH, which means if it's a little more electrons in that area, they will bond with something. And then in another area, there's not quite as many electrons. They say, well, I got to give this thing up. And that's how you transfer things in your body. Everybody's got to understand this. And the people that are in mud fossils, if you don't understand this, you're just looking and you're guessing. And that's what everybody's doing now, because literally nobody does understand this that I've seen. So a few people coming along now. I've been talking about this for years. And the ones that started paying attention weren't laughing at me. They are somewhere in the range of reality now. That's what I'm asking you for. Look, just look at it. This didn't just happen by accident. They go, oh, it's just algae. No. That is from different molecules that are transition metals. That is absolutely no question. Why that algae is eating it right here, and this algae is eating something over here that's red, and that's eating something that's blue, is because they are different transition metals. Now, you should go up to Mud Fossil University, which you are here now, apparently, if you're watching this video, but in the Mud Fossil University here, we have all kinds of stuff. I mean, it goes on and on and on. It never ends. It's a never-ending show, my friends. Now, come up here, and then what I want you to do is to create some mud fossil soirees. All right, you know what a soiree is? That's where people get together. They do a couple of little of this, a little of that, sit around, talk, smoke, drink, do whatever you want to do, discuss, talk about books, and then do a couple of mud fossil videos. It will be the most exciting night of your life. And these are the source of your life. This is the reason you can stay alive. And without these in your body, every single one, and there's 100 almost transition metals. And they all have a job. They're not just laying around around for nothing. They are processed by bacteria. Bacteria in your body creates enzymes. Enzymes are a little chemistry kit. Literally, it's a chemistry kit. It says, what do we got to do? We got to find and create some titanium or vanadium or whatever. And then there's different levels of vanadium that can bond with different things that you ingest to support your life. This one says I need a couple of electrons. This one says I need 5. Whatever it is. You know, I'm just throwing things out. I'm not even sure I'm saying the right things here. All I'm doing is saying these transition metals are looking for partners in a certain pH, and then they will dump that partner when they find a different pH. That's the way it works. And if you don't have all of these metals in your body, the molecules that attach to them will not be able to go where they're supposed to go, and you will become chronically ill from some specific area in your body. You may lose your hair. Your teeth may go bad. Your skin may itch. Your joints may hurt. That's the problem. And they don't understand this. The earth creates every single one of these. You look at all the colors that the earth creates. That's what it is. That is the thing that the earth is creating. It's not just, oh, they're red and they're green and they're blue for no reason. No. That is the life that is coming into you. And every other bit of chemicals that goes into you is not just benign. It doesn't just walk around and say, oh, I'm not supposed to be here and go away. No. These things say, what are you doing here? You want to hook up with me? And it says, yeah, why don't I? It hooks up with that, you got skin problems. All right, this guy is a hero. I know you've never heard of him before. He's over 100 years ago. He did this linkage of atoms in molecules, and that's what I'm talking about, transition. Linkage of atoms in molecules. All right? Now, what does that mean? Are all molecules the same? Well, they all link together. That's just all. No. They are different. All molecules are different, and they link together differently. Now, they're talking about inorganic chemistry, and they say inorganic meaning no carbon. Whoops, I don't know if you can see that. See here. This is the story about him. And the guy was a hero, and he's what I'm reading about him. It makes total sense. I mean, I understood this stuff, and I understand it now, but nobody did, except this guy, and then I think they lost it. Now, he goes down here, and it's the guy's name is Alfred Warner. Let me back it up here. Alfred was a genius. And here's what I want you to see. You see these different chemical formulas? What do you see over here? Orange, yellow, purple, green, green. Why? How come why is that green and this one's yellow and this one's orange? I could tell you exactly why. It's because of the transitions in the orbitals of the molecules. And in those different orbitals, there is different transitions, and they have blank orbitals inside, which no regular atoms don't have that. They're filled up until they hit their valence, which is the outside shell, and then they have maybe one or two hanging around out there, and they will need some to be complete. That's normal. However, in the transition metals, you go from the nucleus, you go out a couple of layers and so forth, and then all of a sudden you got a few blanks here and there, and then you go out to your valence shell. Well, what does that mean? That means that it's a transition. That outside can bounce down one level and bounce right back up, depending upon who interferes with them at the extreme outside level. So that is the way it can bounce down one and bounce up. It transitions. That's how it grabs things and unloads things in your body. It's a very, very simple process. It's called ligands. And they deal with metal complexes, the ligands. Anyway, I know you. Now, here's the deal. I know that nobody here really cares about this, to be perfectly honest with you. There's a few that are going to be interested, because this is not hard to understand if you take your time. I can make anybody to understand this very simply. If you go to my videos and look at the atomic structures and molecules and how atoms flow and electrons move and the different, really the reality of the atomic world, which is not, they have no clue whatsoever now. Zero, none. Einstein destroyed physics for over 100 years. By saying E equals mc squared and saying light has no mass. Light obviously has a mass. Even his own equation says that it has to have a mass. If light has energy, it has to have a mass. Otherwise his equation doesn't even work. It's ridiculous. Everything he said was wrong. Light is a particle, sometimes not a particle. It does this, it does that. If you look at it, it goes away. Of course it goes away because it's a particle. It hits your eye. It jiggles your eye. Your brain says, ooh, that was a little frequency that's in the yellow range. And that's the end of it. I mean, what was it supposed to do? Come back and say, hey, let me go back out here and do it over again? No. These people are insane. I'm sorry, I'm going to contain myself. Anyway, this goes down. If you're really that interested, I can make this, and it is, you bounce up and down, and they're missing places. See, ligands, how many ligands? What's the shape of it? What orbitals are missing? Is it linear? Is it so forth? Where's the centers of what is dipoles? Anyway, just if you want to know this stuff, it's not that hard. I'm trying to make it sound confusing, and it isn't. It's very simple. It's just like little tiny magnets. Really think about that. I have all the videos to go along with this. You'll be thrilled and enthralled. It's because I know how anti-gravity works. Anti-gravity is nothing more than sucking out so many electrons so fast that they can't get replaced. The core goes into a positive push from the Earth's positive attraction, and it lifts off. And that's why the levitating magnets and so forth, when you get to an exact temperature, is exactly sucking enough electrons off of there. It just lifts up and it goes to an exact distance, which is the quantum distance. Very simple. Atomic bombs, when they go off, the first thing they do is expel every single electron virtually, because they have invaded spaces where they are not allowed. The nuclear mass, which is the central mass, goes straight up in the air. You watch it, and it goes straight up, and you can see it is the mass. It's not just flames. It is the mass going straight up and sucking everything off the ground with it, because there is no more electrons there. That mass has become positive, associated to the positive pull of the Earth. The two of them repel each other, straight up in the air. That is anti-gravity. Go and look at my videos. Particles coming from space, from the sun, they're not just nothing like Einstein said. They are particles. And then when they hit the space where there is nothing for them to interact with, no nucleuses, they become dark. There's still energy and there's still matter. That's your dark matter, that's your dark energy. It's just in transit, coming to the Earth, and as soon as it collides with anything that has a nucleus, it bounces the transitions. The case is closed. Okay, back to the river of all these different colors. If what I'm saying is correct, which it absolutely 100% is, all these different little spots in the lung have a different process that they are doing to create different transition metals. They're different pockets and different little vessels in the lung that are creating different chemistry of the transition metals. So this is extremely important. This isn't just a monkey bone. Now, I'm going to show you mud fossils that I have right here. I have a bunch of them that have different transition metals in them. Let me sort it out. Hold on one second. See that? That's a lung cut in half. You see all those different colors and things in there? That's different chemistry. There's one that's a little tiny lung from a chipmunk or something. I don't know what it's from. But that's where the stuff comes inside. And you see all that? That's what they call concretions. They're the same thing that Scott Walters was talking about. It's not a concretion, it's a lung. They just haven't paid any attention to the reality of the situation. I'd like to have a video about that too on YouTube. But anyway, this is what's going on. That's how and this here is a lung too. You see that? That's the blood that leaked out of the lung. That's not granite. That's from a lung. And that's the blood that leaked out, red and black. Alright, and this is a lung here. Yeah. And they have two different sections in the lungs, really. There's one place that has the blood that's going to be the black blood in mud fossils because it's deoxygenated, and there's one with the red blood that's oxygenated. And there's this one here, this was DNA tested, CAT scan, the whole 9 yards. See, we took the DNA out of the very tip, out of the end there, where it's nice and red and bloody, dense with DNA. That's the pleura on the lung. It's like a fascia. It coats the lung. That's the upper intestine. That's the tongue. And that's the impression of the heart. It's a left lung. Anyway, it's all been certified, CAT scanned, and DNA tested. Here's another lung. You see, anytime you see the red and the black, that's when you know that you got, when they're right together in the same thing that looks like a lung, it's a lung.